Alright, so let's do this. So this video, I'm going to put out there my take on the first C of survivability, the cutting tool. And I'll start off by saying, well, that I organized my tools and my thoughts for building up these 10 C's around 3 scenarios. For blades, these scenarios are my everyday carry for cutting through everyday tasks, my extraordinary day carry for cutting through obstacles, and then my long stay out in the woods carry for cutting through the woods. So those are my philosophies to try to get a little organized, and the concept of the operation, as it were. Next up, though, I look at the 3 sets of blades for those 3 scenarios. I say sets because, first, the old adage that 1 is none, 2 is 1. So I want to have backup and redundancy in my cutting tools. But also, this set, for me, when I selected these out, was meant to expand on my range of capabilities and expand my opportunities to deal with those scenarios. So first scenario, of course, EDC, my everyday carry. And should be no surprise that coming out of my hip pocket, first up would be a simple folder, right? My primary cutting tool for cutting through everyday tasks. It happens to be a Spyderco. Had this one now for a long time. Love the blade, love the contour, but key features of why I carried this one is first and foremost a belt clip, which on this model of Spyderco, and I believe almost all of them, you've got the ability to move that clip around where you want it, but got it rigged so that it comes out in my hand, ready to deploy, right? Get it out there quick, make short work of everyday tasks, cutting through cord, cutting open boxes, cutting open envelope, but it's my EDC quick. Cut through those everyday tasks real quick, always on my head. Back up to that, second in the set, it also should probably be no surprise, would be multi-tool. And just took this out of my belt. I keep it here in this little kit, subject to another video on my EDC, which we'll get around to when we start doing kits, but, you know, simple little flashlight, backup lighter here over on this side, but it's a multi-tool. It happens to be a Leatherman Wingman. It's got the clip. I like that feature for locating this inside the sheath and being able to deploy it easy enough. But for those everyday tasks, my backup, you know, certainly first and foremost, you know, it's got a blade, right? Straight edge and a serrated edge so that, you know, I can back up my primary EDC quick. But also, I kind of don't know if I can get away with this, but I kind of think of this as my EDC shit, right? There I am at work or at home, something is stuck in something, right? Something needs to be bent, right? So the famous pliers involved with all these multi-tools, right? Part of all of them, and I love it. But those little quick tasks, something stuck in something, something's bent, needs fixed, maybe it's a wire that needs cut. Not going to do it with my blade, but got the built-in cutters. And a backup blade, but choose to use that. Also all the other screwdriver tools, file, little saw, very useful, everyday tools. And if I happen to be using it a lot, that's why I like that belt clip. Now maybe it can just sit there in my left hip pocket when I'm pulling it in and out all day trying to take care of those tasks. But that covers down on my set for my everyday carry. Line 1 gear, as we say, that's always on my person through all the scenarios, but primarily for my everyday carry. So then we go to extraordinary days, and I classify that as bad days, emergency even days, but certainly not a good day. Need to step up my game and my tools to expand opportunity again for getting through obstacles. This is the kind of kit, this set goes into a tactical kit for me, goes into a get home bag for that purpose as well. But coming to the second scenario, extraordinary days, I have to go beyond those EDC quick blades and now I got to step up my game. And first up is to step up to a full tang fixed blade. This happens to be a cold steel SRK. Love it, you know, from the outside. No, by the way, the sheath comes black, but I was going crazy with a rattle can one day and couldn't help myself. But the sheath is great. It's got the holes where I can rig this with 550 cord. It's got these slots where I can use straps and maybe molly this to my tactical harness, which I do frequently. Right, also has belt attachment. So like I say, when I'm stepping up the game and I'm pulling this off my get-home bag or need to add on my, need to add it to my tactical rig, there it goes on my hip. Now I've stepped up my game. So this Cold Steel SRK is purpose-built. SRK stands for Survival Rescue Knife. So purpose-built for getting through obstacles. That's why it's primarily my selection. Great sheath, rubberized grip. It's a bad day, it's probably also raining. Or if it's a bad day, I may be sweaty and stressed, but I want to have positive control of this tool. Love the rubberized grip. And it's sturdy. This is not coming out of the sheath, even though I don't have it belted in. But sturdy, comes out. Great, strong, thick spine. Clip point, long, sharp cutting edge. This is one of the older ones from Japan, Oz 8 steel, I believe. But seen its use, right? Purpose built for piercing and cutting through obstacles. Rubberized grip, so I've got great control while I'm doing that. But now I've stepped up my game and I have a broader range of cutting options to get through those obstacles and get home. If that happens to be that scenario. Or tactically, if I gotta punch through a wooden door or what have you. Second up to that, similar to the EDC set, the backup blade is also a tool that's going to expand my capabilities in those extraordinary days. And my choice adding to the kit is this NRS pilot knife. Another great sheath. This thing not going anywhere. Purpose built for survival rescue as well. Great thing to have on your shoulder harness, on the strap of your backpack, your get home bag. But a great tool. And the only way it's coming out of this guy is if I purposely going up here, pinch both of those levers, and out comes the blade. So let's say it's a backup blade, right? Serrated as well as a straight edge. Blunt tip, this would be my pry tool, right? I wouldn't want to, if I have a prying obstacle I've got to get through, got to pry through something, I wouldn't want to necessarily risk, although it's not much of a risk with that SRK, but wouldn't want to necessarily, if I don't have to, risk that blade. You can use this blunt tip for prying through even small screwdriver type tasks, what have you. It's also rubberized grip, and in the grip also has a glass breaker. So another key feature of this, smashing through obstacles, prying through obstacles, but also a backup blade. It's also the kind of thing that, strapped to my shoulder, strapped to the seatbelt of my truck, right? Again, there I'd gone and rolled my truck way out in the woods, right? Cut through the seatbelt, smashing through the glass, and I'm through that obstacle and out and looking for help. But either way, great backup blade for this set, but provides a little extra range of tools for getting through obstacles. Then, in that third scenario that I was talking about, now I'm cutting through the woods. And this is a scenario where I'm going from point A to point B. I'm not looking to live out in the woods, build a log cabin, live happily ever after. What I'm thinking about is, again, it might be a get-home situation where I've got a long way to travel. Or I might just got myself, 10, 15 miles, 20 miles out in the woods where I can't get back in one day. I'm going to have to make fire. I'm going to have to set up camp. So I want cutting tools that are going to help me cut through the woods, process wood, process that down where now it's usable. Make shelter, making fire, making traps, making whatever tools or other little crafty things I might want to do. I'm finding myself out there in the woods. I need to do a little bushcrafting. So I'll start with the tool first and save the chopper for the finale. But now, cutting through the woods, I'm looking to my Baco Laplander. First tools coming off the kit, being added to my Line 1 gear. Have it handy. I see that sapling, it's got to come down. I'm starting to process wood. I prefer the saw, and in this case, Baco Laplander. Starting from the outside, it's a great grip, very ergonomic, right? It's a little tacky, sticky, or, it's a good grip, right? Maybe not a rubberized grip, but get a good solid purchase and control of it, right? It's a safety locking blade, you got a button there, so it's only opening and closing when I want it to. And it's subdued, right? So if that stay in the woods happens to be in a somewhat tactical or non-permissive situation, I like this being subdued like that versus some of the other brands out there. But features, again, great handle, great control, great ergonomics, push-pull blade, right? So these small hand saws, when you've got some of the others that are only one-way cuts, you run a risk of binding the blade and possibly breaking it more so than with a Baco or this style saw with a push-pull blade. So make quick work of taking down saplings for shelter, or taking down saplings, 3-4 inch trees, whatever, so I can baton them down a little further and make some firewood. But that'd be that first choice in the tool set, is to make sure I have that saw, so I can get some decent sized wood for fires on the go while I'm moving point A to point B, cutting through the woods. Right? And then lastly, I've got to have my chopper, and mine happens to be, I gotta step back for this Legacy Forge, one of a kind, handcrafted, hand forged chopper. Brilliant design, I love it. So, looking at super huge thick spine, clip point, great cutting, chopping, batoning, feather sticking blade, right? Big Billy out here, ditch that shit. Big Billy out here, great when I'm choking back on it for the chopping. It's got also this forged in little swell back here, so when I'm choking up on it to do the fine work, right, using this inner belly, now I'm feather sticking, maybe making notches for traps or whatever I'm crafting, but it's a chopper. Part machete, part hatchet, definitely bushcraft blade. Big time chopper for getting the small saplings and feather sticks going when I'm on the move and I'm going to need to get fire. So there I have my 3 sets of blades for my simple 3 scenarios. There's 1,000 scenarios. We can go off in those rabbit holes some other day, but just wanted to give my quick thoughts, my 2 cents on the first C of survivability, the cutting tool, and how I've organized that into my 3 scenarios: everyday carry blade set for cutting through everyday tasks, extraordinary day blade set for cutting through obstacles, and then my long stay blade set for when I'm cutting through the woods. All meant to be line 1 gear, carried on my person, added to my person as I step up into those scenarios. But those are my choices. Those are my tools. There are many like them, but these ones are mine. And that's my 2 cents. So we'll move on and we'll do some more. More to follow.